It's easier than ever to clip long form videos to reels, TikToks, and shorts. Who's ever recorded something that's a bigger video and then it just sits on your hard drive and you don't do anything with, but you're like, man, if I could just get that onto Instagram, if I could post that to LinkedIn, if I could get one more person to see that, but I don't want to take the time to do this. I don't want to hire a video editor. I don't want to be the video editor myself. And even if I do it, I don't know how to do captions. We come up with all these excuses. Okay. So that's big thinking that it's easier than ever. And I'm going to show you some of these things today as we get right into it.
All right. Got a bunch of people coming in. Welcome to the first Fast Foundations office hours. Nice to see everybody. A lot of familiar faces, a lot of new faces. That's exciting. I'm RT Custer. If you don't know who I am, I got Jim Carter, my co-host over here. Jim's teaching today. I'm going to go through just really quick next couple minutes of what to expect out of this office hours and future ones. But first, just welcome everybody. If you don't know, Fast Foundations is a community first and a mastermind second. You are now part of the community now that you are in the room, virtually at least. And I do see a lot of familiar faces who have been in the literal in-person room, whether it's a mastermind or an event. So thank you guys for coming back. Tons of alumni. I think we're up to almost 400 alumni. So what to expect out of these? We're going to do a kickoff here and just lay the ground rules first every time. And that's going to take just a couple minutes. And then someone from our community, starting with Jim today, but someone from our community every week is going to come to you and bring you 15 to 20 minutes of education. Something new, a hot topic of the time. Today we're talking AI. Jim is an expert in AI. But every week, we're going to bring you a new piece of information and educational material, and we're all going to learn together for roughly 15 to 20 minutes. After that's over, if you've been in the in-person room, you know what this means, but we're going to do rapid fire takeaways. We're going to go around, get 5-10 of those in 5 or 10 minutes max. After that, we're going to break us up into small groups, 3 to 5 people. If you can stay for the second 30 minutes of this meeting, first 30 is education, learning from each other, giving back to our speaker. Second 30 is small groups, just like how are we going to go implement this in our business, little mini masterminds. That's what this is all about. And I'm going to introduce Jim. So Jim Carter III is my business partner in Fast Foundations. We also own Carter Custer Agency. Good friend that I met in Fast Foundations Mastermind years ago. Jim is, I don't know if you would call yourself a nerd or a geek or what, but like you are just.
You called me all of those. So
I call him all of those. So you guys can decide what to focus on. He is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to things that people like me have no knowledge on, and it's mostly tech. He refers to himself as a recovering developer. He spent over a decade developing some of the coolest, biggest things on the interwebs. And then he's built an awesome agency with me and an awesome mastermind that we can call Fast Foundations. Today, though, and for the last, 6 months, really, Jim, you've just poured yourself into AI and everything there is to know about artificial intelligence. And there's new things every day, people. So Jim's going to give us 15 to 20 minutes on what you need to know about AI, especially as it pertains to content. And then we're going to pour back into Jim and tell him what we learned. So Jim, thank you. Take it away.
That's it. Hey, everybody. Good to see you. We're excited to try this. And we thought no better way than to talk about one of the most trending topics on the internet right now, which is AI. For those of you, we see some alumni in here and some other friendly faces. For those of you that were part of our last round of the mastermind, you remember that we had a live session where I taught with RT about ChatGPT, Midjourney, some of these new terms that are coming up and why they're so important and why we have to pay attention to them. Doesn't mean we have to change everything that we're doing immediately, drop everything and just dive right into all things AI. Just means we have to know what's possible. So we thought no better way to kick this new series off where we're bringing the community together, growing, teaching, learning as a group. RT and I are equally as excited to learn from the community as we continue to grow every week. But we thought this is a great way to start. Now, big thinking around AI, just to center us. It's easier than ever to clip long form videos to reels, TikToks, and shorts. Those of us, quick show of hands, who's ever recorded something that's a bigger video and then it just sits on your hard drive and you don't do anything with, but you're like, man, if I could just get that onto Instagram, if I could post that to LinkedIn, if I could get one more person to see that, but I don't want to take the time to do this. I don't want to hire a video editor. I don't want to be the video editor myself. And even if I do it, I don't know how to do captions. We come up with all these excuses. Okay. So that's big thinking that it's easier than ever, and I'm going to show you some of these things today as we get right into it. Another big thinking topic is that if we start or produce long form written content, copy, we can train AI. Now, that sounds really difficult. I promise you it's not. And I'm going to show you an example today of why it's not. Training AI these days does not require a developer. It can be as simple as copying and pasting stuff into ChatGPT. I promise you. And again, another big thinking topic is that once AI knows your writing style, the way you like to put your work out there, the visual cues, the brand, things like that, it's dangerously powerful and danger in a good way. And this is really the last piece in terms of these bullet points I want to share is I want you to think, what content assets do you have that could actually pay you dividends? What can help build your brand, build your company, build your awareness, and get more out there in for the world to see? So I see some friendly faces here, so I may pick on people from time to time. Zach, I'm gonna start with you. You put out really great content about everything you know with nutrition, starting with long form written content, all that stuff you already have typed out. Think of what that can do when it turns into an email. I see Sharon on here with all the work that you're doing with helping people find placements and hires and looking for individuals. Think about how we can start to customize messages when we're working with LinkedIn, or thinking about ways that we can have a better job description that's more personalized, that doesn't require doing it the same every time, right? Haley, with everything with real estate, there's so many ways that you can plug into this, the infrastructure of having all of this data available. AI can go find information from Redfin. It can concur with Zillow. It can make sense of this data. It can give you ideas for really good looking titles for listings. So I just want you all to start thinking big about how we can incorporate that into our world. I'm going to show you some really fun examples today of what we're going to do. And some of the examples are ones that we've done ourselves that some of you may have already been part of. Okay, let's start again with long form video. Now, who here, again, show of hands, just has a random video of them talking about anything? It could be the recording like this. It could be teaching a master class. Okay, I see basically everybody's hands up on the Zoom. There's nothing overly special about this except I'm wearing a different hat and a different V-neck. But as you all know, that's very on brand for me. It's the standard issue V-neck and some kind of a hat. What I want you to think about is the reason that we typically don't move forward with that is, one, we don't want to rewatch our own videos. Two, we don't want to find those key moments and cut them. Three, we don't want to do the video editing. We don't want to get into captions. I'm going to share some tools today, and I got easy links for all of them so nobody mistypes anything. You go to fastfoundations.com/opus, OPUS. This is a brand new AI tool. And for those of you that follow me on social, that every single day right now, I'm posting a carousel of my top 5 AI sites that I find. And I just hit the 50th edition of that. So for those of us doing math really quick, there's a lot of these sites coming out, and I've still got about 300 more that I haven't posted yet. It's easy to get overwhelmed, but this is the single fastest processing from long form video to almost instant reels, instant portrait type videos. You throw a video in, and it just says, get clips in 1 click. And these are all just extra options if you want. You can specify how much you want in processing time. You can type in keywords and it finds those and extracts them. And what's really cool about it is then it refreshes minutes later and it processes that video and it automatically clips them, puts it all together. It even uses its own internal ranking to say, how viral does it think that this video could be? Then if you want that one, you move into it, you can go and you can edit all the captions, you watch it, you move the captions around, you can change all the colors on brand. And if you like it, you download it. If you hate it, you give it a thumbs down and it learns. And this is a really good principle that I want to make sure everybody here understands, is that no different than if you told your video editor, okay, you gave me 10 clips. I don't like 1, 2, and 3. I love number 4. Number 5 and number 6 need a little bit of work, and never make me ones like 7, 8, and 9. But 10, absolutely. It's that video editor is going to learn. It's going to learn your style. It's going to get to know what you like and your preferences. What's great about tools like this is when we're using AI, the AI is capable of learning. So if it finds that you're saying, you know what, I really just don't like these, but I love that one, it's going to start to produce more like that. Who's liking this? Does this is helpful? Okay. All right. I love it. So I want you to just think big about these are the tools that are out there right now with the link I shared. So if you're interested in trying something like this, jump on that site, give it a shot, and just take any video that you've got laying around, something that you taught Zach, the last class that you threw alone, there's gold in that. And you went into Q&A and you had questions. I challenge you, man, jump in there and just upload that one Zoom recording and just see what it'll come up with. And for all of us, just thinking, what content do we have that can pay dividends? So that's the first one. And I always want to start with social because it's the fun and it's the flashiest one. And it's the one that we can really just get a lot of really good energy out of because we see people pouring back into us really quickly. It's a very quick ROI option to take AI very seriously. Next, repurposing your content across different platforms. When you start with video, you have a lot of leeway, but I want you to think about this progression. If we go video to transcription, and then we go from transcription to having AI learn about that transcription, we can have it summarize, we can have it write, and we can even turn it into an email that we can send out. And I'm going to show you step by step how we can do all of this with zero code. Does that sound interesting? Quick show of hands again, or feel free to throw it in the chat. Who remembers when we threw this masterclass with our buddy Lewis Howes? The Harders joined. Okay, cool. Well, some of you were on there as well, which is great. Now, one thing you may have not realized was that we had this also powered by ChatGPT on the homepage. And we did it really subtly because it was all part of our process. I explained when we were in the masterclass, for those of you that did watch it, you might remember this, is every piece of content, all the copy, everything that was out there, all of the calls to action, the way that we laid everything out, all the emails, it was all powered by AI. There's no joke. We did that by design because we believe so much in it that we invest in it. We do our own work. Why are we going to sit down, busy entrepreneurs, and rewrite all the copy for a landing page if we already know what converts and we already know what's there and what works? So we thought there's no better way to do it than to do it. For those of you that remember, we brought in a bunch of different experts on personal branding. One of our Fast Foundations alumna, Maria Middleton, show of hands or throw it in the chat who here loves Marina. She crushed it. She did an awesome 15 or so minute presentation on personal branding. I'm going to show you how we used this one video, nothing about captions or any of that, just the clip from the Zoom, same as I just showed you what we could do with social before, and turn it into an entire email series. So pick any video, cut it. Anybody can, if you have a Mac, open up QuickTime, click trim, do this, do that, clip it, and you've got your clip, right? Anybody's capable of clipping a big video. The next really cool AI tool, and you can use any site you want for this, but basically just create a transcription from that video. You can use Rev, you can use Otter. The one that I love right now, and it's absolutely free, is called Assembly AI. So feel free to check this one out, fastfoundations.com/assembly. When you get there, click on the word that says playground. You can just drag a video file in there or even put in a YouTube link, and it fully processes the whole video, summarizes it. It's done in minutes. And right now it's free. VCs are paying for this, right? Because AI is such a gold rush. Use VC's money. Don't spend your own. That's my next pro tip for the day. So anytime you can find a well-funded AI startup, use their product because it's there for this. So we've gone from video to transcription. So far, we've spent maybe 30 seconds finding the video, and maybe we spent another 20 or 30 seconds clipping the video. We now have moved over to a website. We uploaded the video. That could take maybe another 30, 90 seconds tops. All right. So we've invested about 2.5 minutes into this process. And now we have a full transcription for the entire video that you just clipped and put it through. Next, who here, show of hands, has used ChatGPT or experimented with it? It's okay if you don't know what you're doing. Okay, great. So we got about half the room. The more comfortable you get with ChatGPT, the more opportunity opens up for you. What I wanted to do here was prove a process that we could take a messy, raw information transcription. Something as wild as like when she laughs, there's a pause. But remember, we're just taking something as simple as a transcription and we're having AI learn it. So that was the next thing is we inserted that transcription raw right into ChatGPT in parts to have it learn about our topic. So this is the exact prompt I used. Learn the following transcription of Marina Militant teaching on the Fast Foundations Masterclass series, an online event that was held about personal branding, where we gave an expert time to talk about the importance of personal branding, as well ask questions where they were answered. This is part one. I will add more. Acknowledge when you've learned it. Copy a chunk, paste a chunk, enter. It said, got it. Give me the next section. Copy, paste, copy, paste. And then I typed, we're done with the transcription. And it said, okay, great. Then I said, now that you've learned the whole sequence, act like an email marketer who interviewed Marina Middleton and outline a summary of what was spoken from and what you learned. Write it as if you were trying to share highlights on the session. Invoke the questions asked to the audience and reflect on and call out some key moments that were important. Here's a key piece. Make it conversational. Come from we, not I. Leave room, and then this was part of our strategy here. Leave room for 3 videos showing highlights that are clickable, and at the end, write something about the entire email, clips, highlights, and copy was all generated by AI. Put a very clear, direct call to action about it if they're curious how we did it, to click a link. The reason I added that piece in at the end is because RT and I launched what we were calling our fast tracks. It's us teaching what we love. And the first one that I was doing was about AI. So in the email, we're lifting the curtain. We're basically saying, you guys, this is all written by AI, and we're going to show you how to do this because this is what we love doing. That's why we're here. I'm showing you guys exactly what we did. And not just that. I said, by the way, also give me 3 short but impactful subject lines, pre-header text suggestions for the emails that you just wrote. I'm not condoning take everything, copy and paste, and just hit send or publish or saying that this is yours. But you guys, this got us 95, 98% of the way there. This was the final email. I took a screenshot of her video. I took the copy that it drafted. I highlighted the key parts. I enhanced the pieces that I want. I don't have the scrolling, but below it, you'll see the 3 bullet points that show all of the different clips. We didn't overdo any of this. I took those clips and I uploaded them to Loom, and I just put those Loom links in there, and I linked to the Loom links, and people were high-fiving it and doing a little Loom thumbs up and stuff like that. It was actually fun. We didn't have to host it somewhere fancy, create a YouTube account. There was nothing magic about this other than the process. Now you might be saying, okay, great, but how well did it do? Well, you tell us. We had over 60% open rate on that email alone. And the average open rate for all of the emails that we sent after that masterclass were over 60%. So I'm not saying you have to do this process for everything, but I want to show you that everything about this process was free. The only thing we pay for is a ChatGPT Plus subscription, which is $20 a month. How many of you guys are like me that we blow $20 on worse things, right? So thinking about what I want you to see is just that all of these things are available to you today. You don't have to overinvest in anything else. And the last piece I want to show you to pull all of this together is podcasting. Who here, show of hands, has a podcast or some kind of YouTube channel? Okay, almost the entire room. This is exciting. So RT and I were sitting back thinking, how are we going to do season 2 of the Fast Foundations podcast? We want to start season 2 next week. And data shows that the education is stronger than the interviews. The most popular episodes are the ones where we're teaching, just like this. The most popular ones are the ones where RT and I are showing something cool that we're doing. We're talking about our process. I'm sure a lot of you can agree. The more that we show up, the more that we teach, the better. Office hours, this is going to be our next season of our podcast, if you didn't catch that in the emails. So this section right here that we're recording right now, this is going to go into our podcast. The breakout rooms and everything else we're going to do when you show up live, of course, that's not going to be recorded. That's the power of being in the room. But we want to highlight what the community is doing. We thought there's no better way than to highlight the community doing it. I've got the last awesome AI site that I want to share for you today, because again, I'm compressing like months of AI stuff into 20 minutes. This next one that I found is called Cast Magic. So fastfoundations.com/cast magic. There's a lot of these podcasting platform AI tools that are coming out, and this is the single best one that I found, and we're using it for ours. So I recently rebooted my own YouTube channel, You can find me on Cause Hacker on all the socials, and I'm reviewing all of these AI sites one at a time because that's bringing me a lot of joy, and I love being able to show exactly how to use them. So I started experimenting with it. You can see I did 4 different AI site recordings, plugged them all in. It just uses the file name, right? That's why some of these file names look a little weird. You create a podcast on Cast Magic, you upload your video, and you guys, this is truly magic. It automatically does a transcription here. So if you don't want to use assembly, you could use this. And it goes through and it pulls out title suggestions, keywords. It writes an introduction for that show. It gives you a time-stamped overview. It finds Q&A that happened in the podcast, key topics and bullet points. It finds clips. It writes you a real script. It even writes you a newsletter. And then it gives you discussion questions and more. And then they took it a step further. It's like a mini chat GPT. So you can actually ask questions to your podcast episode. It's wild. So who here can take a wild guess how we're going to release the next season of the Fast Foundation show? We're going to use all these tools. So today was all about showing you exactly how our podcast is going to come out starting next week. We're going to be taking this recording. We're going to be processing it with AI tools. We're going to be clipping it, mastering the audio, creating shorts from the long video, getting all of this information together, and then putting it right into the email list. We're going to be publishing those shorts, and we're going to come up with the quotes and create quote squares and do all these things. But the one thing we're not going to be doing is all of that work ourselves. We're going to be using AI because these tools are available to us. And that's my challenge for all of you today, is think about what 1 or 2 of these little tools, when they're injected in your workflow, can do for you. Because I guarantee where you're willing to lean into it, it's going to make a really big difference. And that's it. That's it for today. And for those of you that are interested, I'm running another version of that fast track that we announced on the masterclass. And this one is going to be all about content. So exactly this, I'm going to go deep on these topics and talk about all of them. And you can just check it out at fastfoundations.com/AI. The next one starts next Thursday. This is a great way to be able to learn more, dive in, and just really up your content game.
Thank you, Jim.
Back to you,
All right.
buddy.
Yeah,
there it
dude,
is.
that was awesome. Even though you send me these things like daily of, oh shit, check this out. It's still like fun to see them again, and definitely cool to see them in use. And it's going to be awesome to be able to basically use this Zoom recording as the example to use all those and have episode 1 of basically a fully AI generated podcast. Everybody give it up. Virtual round of applause for Jim. If you haven't been in one of our in-person rooms at Fast Foundations Mastermind, then you probably don't know what a rapid fire takeaway is. I gave you a quick rundown when we started this, but just one real quick example, and say your name, what you're grateful for, and one very specific piece of feedback or thing that you got for Jim. So I'll start. Jim, my name is RT. I am super grateful for how sunny it is today. It hasn't been sunny as often as it should be in Colorado recently. So super, super grateful for that. It brings me so much joy. And I learned that assembly AI thing was powered by venture capital. And that thing that you said about there's so many different AI companies, which ones do I use? If I can find a story about some huge venture capital firm or Google putting a ton of money into one, that probably means it's good and it's going to last a while because they are venture backed. That was a sweet fact, and it gives me a lot more credibility and confidence picking an AI tool. So thank you for that. I saw Allison first. Allison, go ahead and hop off of mute and do a rapid fire takeaway for Jim, please.
Okay. Hi, I'm Allison. I'm super grateful for my dogs who always keep me company and give me love. And basically everything Jim talked about was brand new for me. So I appreciate the whole presentation. But the one thing that I really learned and enjoyed learning was that you can train AI to learn to speak your voice and talk more like you and say certain things. So that was really cool. Thank you so much for the presentation.
That was excellent, Allison. Thank you so much. Steve, I saw your virtual hand next.
Hey, everybody. Super excited to, just like Christina said, see so many people I love and respect in our room here. So good to see all. An awesome presentation. I am specifically grateful to be in Toronto with my family and Jeanette and totally unplugged this week and business is still running and life is great. And this is what we do it all for. And I am interested in, as much as the takeaway, do you guys anticipate at the next in person dedicating some decent time to this AI? Because it's so current and Jim's such an expert and so many people are saying here. I think having the opportunity to actually integrate the tools and use the specific intricacies that make it pop for each niche would be really beneficial. So I was wondering if that's in the plans at all.
Great question, Steve. And nice to hear your voice. Appreciate you stopping by. The last in-person, we kicked it off with that, and that was super fun. So I'm going to let Jim answer with the specifics, but I think it would be very wise of us to do an hour or two of AI-focused content in all or most of our in-person masterminds. As like you said, it's top of mind for so many people now. I think one of the benefits of being in the room in a mastermind is learning what is happening right now and not having to keep your head to the ground and learn all these new things and have them brought to you.
Yeah, I absolutely would love to either workshop this or do some guided work to be able to put people through the most needed topics. I know Zach is in next round. He had to jump, unfortunately, but we also want to just poll the members who are coming in for the next round to see what they need the most of. We just need that feedback loop. So what we're doing right now, talking about it, this is perfect. This gives us the feedback that we need to find out who needs
Well, good first idea. Barbie, go ahead.
Okay, hi, I'm Barbie. What I'm grateful for, on Friday, I'm going to be celebrating 34 years of marriage with my hubby. So
Congrats.
super
awesome.
proud of us and super excited. I'm so excited. Thank you. I haven't done nothing with AI, so I'm really excited to take all my master classes and have them cut up for me because, yeah, I certainly don't want to go do that. And I've thought about it for probably a year. I tried to hire someone. She really wasn't that excited and didn't do it either. So this is awesome. And I can't wait to do that. So thank you.
You're so
Thanks,
welcome.
Barbie.
Thanks for being here today.
So that's the end of rapid fire takeaways. Hopefully everybody sees the value in that. Obviously, Jim, as our co-host of the mastermind and co-host of this, was doing this presentation. But in the future, starting next week, we'll start bringing in just other members of our community, alumni, just other people that want to come and share 15 to 20 minutes of education and what's happening in their world and our world right now.
Hey, this is Jim Carter. Thank you for joining the first episode of Season 2 of the Fast Foundations podcast. We're excited to try this new format. We're grateful you were here to be part of it with us. If you missed the live event, you can join us every Wednesday. Sign up at fastfoundations.com/office hours, and we'll see you next week.